I have no more tears to shed.
That was a DC reference. That's the first one in months on this show.
So close as we've had to there been any fucking news for months.
Well, when fandom happens, we'll have a fan wank over it. And
there was that Netflix trailer for Sandman.
Yes, there was.
Cool.
There it is, folks. It looks good. It looks good. But we're out of the loop now. It's the year of our Lord, whatever the date is today, I guess. It'd be the 8th today, 7th or 8th when you're listening to this. Hi, you boxer bastards. Welcome back to the Big Damn Donny Cates. That's a hint where we're going. I am Chris. We recorded this 2 weeks ago. Fuck you, Johnson.
I'm Matt, hopped up on coffee and ready to rocky. Watson.
And Nerdy News Geeky Gossip, we can take a back seat this week because we're recording out of sequence. That's right. That's right. We're up to other things this week. We've got important things and holiday things. And we're not here. We're not here.
Good shit.
We will record something on October the 8th in the Eventide. So if you're listening to this on October the 7th, get your emails in, bigdamcontact@gmail.com if you want to talk about your stuff.
If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry.
And also, if you're like, you guys have, there's been a lot of like Marvel-centric stories lately. Yeah, there have. And this week is no exception.
Yay!
Because as we can't cover the news, and we didn't have fucking time to watch 2 X-Men movies again in quick succession and talk about them. Don't worry, it's coming. Just
cover the
not
news
right now. News, reviews, and points of views. Was that a slogan at one point?
It was. I think we were toying with it, and then we were like, "That's so shit. Let's not do it."
Let's never do it
anyway.
Probably.
But then that's the entire conception of this podcast in a fucking nutshell.
Is it shit? Yeah, should we do it anyway?
Yeah.
Do you know what isn't shit?
What?
Marvel Unlimited.
Ah!
So, about a month ago, as of this broadcast,
about this many months ago,
I finally took the plunge and spent the UK price of £51 and 70-something pence.
Took the plunge
to pay for a year's subscription to Marvel Unlimited. What's Marvel Unlimited? Well, Timmy, Marvel Unlimited is I guess a streaming service, but for comic books.
That's exactly what it is.
It's Marvel's digital library. So every title that has been released digitally for the last sort of 12, 13 years, plus a bunch of select stuff from before then, which is growing all the time.
Yeah, I say select, it's pretty definitive at this point, I think.
Yeah, there's not that many gaps. I mean, for Christ's sake, do you know what I looked up the other day, just curious, Marvel Fanfare.
Jesus.
And they've got about a quarter of it on there. So they're still adding stuff, like they're still putting things in there from time to time, and some things will be there in random issues. Some limited series will have random issues out there because they're part of a themed thing, like a character playlist or an event, but everything sort of from the 21st century is pretty much there now, and everything prior to that is mostly there, and the gaps are being filled.
Yeah.
If it isn't there, it's probably something super obscure that you're looking for because you're wondering if they've got it.
It's probably on its way.
Like Marvel fucking Fanfare, for example. But yeah, I finally took the plunge, and I'm a big physical media guy. I prefer physical media as an option if I can when it comes to my reading, because I like the idea that I could just go pick it off the shelf and read it. But I appreciate that is becoming more and more of a luxury in today's day and age.
I like to have all my media digitally so I have more room for models and toys.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing too. Part of it is like, living based on like where people are living and stuff. Like if people are in a small flat, they're not going to completely fill that small flat if they can have the same things on the tinterweb.
Yeah, you start to get over your love of physical media once you've moved a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why I got a mortgage here.
Yeah.
I don't want to get out of this building anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I can fill it with shit. But
I'm
also,
not buying any more fucking books until I've moved at least once more.
But that's, it's also becoming a luxury because physical media, based on what it is becoming more of a collector's market in some aspects, some respects. And then you've got the whole issue of the reason why I can't entirely divorce from physical media is because we're not yet in an era where broadband is flawless.
No.
A lot of things rely on that and market themselves off the idea of it's completely streaming. And there's a reason why Google Stadia has not been a runaway success.
Oh God, I forgot about Google Stadia.
There's a reason why, not everyone will get a Xbox Marketplace, Xbox Live membership, PlayStation Plus membership.
Well, that came up recently, didn't it? When Sony were saying that we're going to close the PS3 and PS Vita PSN store.
Yeah. Because people who are like, well, hang on,
upset about that.
That's the only way to get that stuff because there's no physical media available easily for those things anymore. But then you have the opposite side of the spectrum where it's like somebody living in the countryside, somebody living in Bumblefuck, Missouri, like up a hill or down a lane or whatever, whose area does not have flawless internet or even competent internet yet.
Where do you live if you don't live up a hill or down a lane?
In the mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those are the only two locations.
If they don't have that option, then they're relying off of physical media full stop. Like, I'm sure we'll have some listeners who listen to this who live in areas where internet is patchy at best.
Well, then how would they listen to us?
Because we send... oh, yeah, you've not been involved in this. I've been sending episodes of the podcast out on floppies. In the mail.
Hell.
We have a very small subscription list.
They must be very expensive to ship because it would be a lot of floppies.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. You just pretend it's a birthday card and you put a normal stamp on it.
Oh, you just send it in several...
Postbox, man.
What if they get there out of order?
Well, it's just like finding old Doctor Who serials, I suppose, isn't it?
No, but mid-episode.
Yeah.
Because, a floppy fits at 4 megabytes of information. That's do you know how many floppies of course, obviously you do.
This is the logic sound I make.
Know. You do know.
This is the logic blocker noise.
You and the Daredevil, you're a bunch of logic blockers.
Yeah, to be fair, a 2-hour episode does end up being 85 envelopes.
Yeah. Look, Chris, there's a point. Get to it.
Send it out as MP1s.
Fucking hell.
It's really condensed. It sounds like we're broadcasting from a submarine inside of a can of beans. The
Keep
point
going
is,
to the Patreon. We'll start releasing everything in FLAC.
the point is,
or Ogvorbis.
Fucking hell. Get access to our old episodes on LimeWire. Bring the mic closer now. So
move my face away from the mic to breathe.
But the reason... But I'm having to be, super cost effective this year in more ways than one. And I realised that I haven't picked up a graphic novel in about 9 months. And I wasn't splurging, but on average every year I'd probably spend about 200 to 300 quid over the course of the year on books, like Marvel or DC or whatever.
Oh, it must be nice to have a cheap hobby.
And well, if you spread that out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that is a cheap hobby by our standards.
Of course, you're a bloody Warhammer boy. Jesus, you're in the hobby. The hobby's so expensive, it's got a capital fucking T at the start of the. But yeah, so I was reading less because I'm spending less money on it because I can't really spend the money on it. And I'm missing out. I love those series. I found a way to save money on comics the last 5 years. In the last 2 specifically, in particular, by picking runs that I own and going back to the very beginning of what I own and reading through them. I spent the better part of the last 2 years slowly, nighttime, rereading my way through 2001 Spider-Man to present day.
Okay.
And I've been loving it. And I mean, you see it there on the shelf. It doesn't take, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't take up the most ginormous space in a house. It's one full shelf's worth is that run physically. But even so, it took a while to read because there's a lot to it. But I'm really missing reading out comics. And we talk a lot about comic-related media on here and comic adaptations.
No, too right.
And one thing that doesn't get enough airtime is the fucking comic books. Like, it just isn't happening. In a world where the biggest franchise names on the planet all come from comic books right now, people still aren't buying fucking comic books.
No.
So, what I wanted to do this week was just talk a bit about what I've been reading.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what you've been reading, because I know you're a Marvel Unlimited veteran at this point.
Yeah, I've not been reading much for a while, because I let my subscription lapse, but...
Well, you've been paying for a different subscription as well,
yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Porn.
Yeah.
And...
Finally a porn premium.
He's paying for his own Big Damn OnlyFans. Yeah. Just looking at his own content. It's just close-ups of his wondrous beard.
Jesus.
You are going full goatee at the moment as well.
This is beyond goatee. This is more like the fucking troll bridge at this point.
That's the best joke of the episode so far. And then just for a bit of shits and giggles, we're going to do a little bit of trivia, because this will be a mostly Marvel leaning episode. Cause we're talking Marvel Unlimited. Now, other comic book companies are available. There are other things you should be reading. They are great. They are wonderful. But we're going to talk Marvel this week. Suck it up, Buttercup. And I want to start with the fact that I finally, thanks to this goddamn app that cost me £50, have read through the very hard to find physically, mostly out of print, and even when they do definitive collections like the hardback from last year, they sell out within minutes and cost £70. I've read through the entirety of the Dan Slott through into the Peter David run, the continuous run of She-Hulk from 2004 to 2008.
Good old Shulky.
Fuck me, it's amazing. I'm so happy that because again, that it happened before I had the disposable income to buy comic books. By the time I did, and I was like, I'm aware of that series and would like to read it. It was not easy to find. And whenever they do re-release it in hardbacks or whatever, like once every 6 or 7 years, it sells very quickly because it's a legendary run. Yeah, I wanted to sort of touch base on it because the upcoming Disney Plus show looks like that'll be the inspiration. Mostly will be this era of She-Hulk, the lawyer-centric storylines. Her superheroing is like her sideline gig, and I really wanted to dive in. And I'm so glad I did. And again, good thanks to the app. I can. We're not sponsored, but if they'd like to, just send us those action figures that you get for the deluxe subscriptions that we can't get in the UK. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Send us both a Pirate Kitty Pride. That's the next one. Pirate Kitty Pride.
I love a Pirate Kitty Pride.
It looks great. Lockheed's got a little hat.
You should make Dawn of X your next fucking Hawks, Pox, and Docs.
Hawks, Pox, I do want to nip it. I do want to dip into some more X books.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, my trajectory so far has been She-Hulk for starters. Have you read that She-Hulk run?
I've only read the first volume of Dan Slott's She-Hulk run.
It's the first yeah. Oh, right, okay, yeah. Because it's 1 year of about 13 issues.
I used to have the hardback,
and then it goes away.
6 issues, right when I had the graphic novel collection.
Oh, they put
which I've long since sold on. I finally got rid of them all because I was like, I'm never going to finish this fucking collection. I'm just going to have to move it on to people who need to fill the gaps.
People who joined late and want the older ones. Yeah.
So I did have Single Green Female was part of that, which is the first 6 issues. And
it's fucking great.
And I did partake, and it was very good. And then didn't read any more.
That's like a 13 issue run, and then the book went away for a bit, and then it came back as an ongoing, like later in that same year. Later, that very same B, and then Peter David takes over. Because the thing is with that book is it takes place around in the Marvel universe around the same time as Civil War and then Secret Invasion. Yeah. So I've got to say, knowing those events helped a little bit. Because I sort of knew where suddenly the tide was in the world that they were in and why things were a bit different. But the main reason to pick up that book, the main reason I'm recommending She-Hulk, adjectiveless She-Hulk.
I love adjectiveless books.
Is because it's such a fun playground for stories.
No, I get you.
So the basic premise is Jennifer Walters, cousin of Bruce Banner, blood transfusion, saved her life, but it was her cousin's blood, so she transformed into the Savage She-Hulk, and then eventually the Sensational She-Hulk, because she's got more of a handle on it. It's not necessarily a split personality, but it's like she's living two lives.
She is both savage and sensational.
Yeah, she is wearing a different uniform when she's Jennifer to when she is the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And she's at this point in her life where she's like working alongside the Avengers, she's living at the mansion, she's incredibly promiscuous, she is sleeping around, she's a party animal, she's feeling great, and she's spending less time as Jennifer Walters.
Yeah.
So there's a whole dependence on how she looks and feels when she is She-Hulk.
Yeah.
When a law firm approaches her, she's in the middle of a rocky patch because the Avengers, especially Jarvis, are getting really sick of like the aftermath of parties and everything. The fact that they keep having new people, like new men, leaving every other night, leaving every other morning. So like, hi, could you show me the way out of here? I don't know. I got in. I got really drunk. It's like, who brought you here? She-Hulk. It's like,
okay, cool.
Okay,
Thanks.
and it's that whole security issue of like, if you're gonna start bringing people to the mansion, you have to let us know it's going to happen because the security detail and all this. And then it gets to the point where the security systems are updated so that anyone who's not an Avenger, who hasn't logged that they're going to have a visitor, they start getting fired at by the gates. If someone comes in, like lasers start shooting, like fate, like stun lasers.
Yeah.
It's
very good.
It's just like, oh, for God's sake! So Jarvis is getting sick of her. Wasp's getting a bit worried about her, and then this guy approaches from a law firm. He's just like, look, I want you to work for me.
Yeah.
I want Jennifer Walters to work for me because my law firm specialises in superhuman cases, and you have dealt with that world for the last few years of your life. You are a superhero, but you're also a damn good lawyer. So I want Jennifer Walters to come work for me.
Damn good
and
lawyer.
the scene where she accepts is brilliant because she's trying to get drunk in a bar. And it's just not working.
No.
And I can't remember which villain it is, but she has a chat with a super villain, comes to the bar and she like stops him. She's like, come here and talk to me. And they have a chat. And then she kind of knocks him out after he's made it clear he's going to run away. And the guy, the lawyer comes up to her. He's like, right, what's going on? She's, not getting drunk. She hears him out. She accepts the job offer.
Yeah. Turns
Turns back into Jennifer Walters to sort of say, like, you're not going to regret this. And immediately is like, thank you for... just like vomits all over his shoes because of course all that alcohol she's just drunk that's done nothing to her is now in a liver and stomach that is like 1/4 of the size of what it was.
That'll do it.
A moment ago, and she's just...
That'll do it.
It's fucking great. And the whole book is riddled with that like brilliant sense. It's a funny book.
Yeah.
And it uses the comedy for her to mask the pain she's going through.
Yeah.
And it's done so well because you never have a moment where a character just like says, here's what the book is about and what really psychologically is going on.
Yeah.
Even though one of the recurring characters is Doc Samson, who becomes her psychiatrist. She meets with him once a
that fucking
week.
guy.
It was integrated really well because he's sort of the way that you can keep this book with a green toe in the whole Gamma world.
Oh
stuff.
no, I get you. Yeah, I get you.
But also like he doesn't feel out of place in what is essentially a big budget like comedy drama series about a lawyer.
Yeah, totally.
Like
Totally.
she would see her therapist once a week if she had to like go to the therapy sessions. And why not make it a guy who is a licensed therapist and a Gamma hero? Like why not?
Yes, everyone's favourite Gamma hero.
Doc Samson.
Doc Samson.
Hey, still holding out for fucking Phil Dunphy from
Oh yeah,
Modern Family being Doc Samson at some point.
Didn't it?
He's Leonard Samson in the MCU,
It's not gonna
so
happen.
it won't happen. But I like the fact that there's
Well,
a what if
listen to me telling
somewhere
you it's
where
not gonna
he's got a
happen.
big green ponytail and is jacked.
Fucking hell.
So what follows is her working for a law firm that deals with superhuman crimes, and that first volume, the first 6 issues, is sort of like a great anthology series. Who's Who about it. One of them is a man is killed in like a centrifuge in like an experiment, a nautical airspace research experiment.
Oh yes.
His wife and he like sort of split. She like dumps him and announces she's going to divorce him because he's spending too much time on this like jet they're trying to develop for space travel.
Cool.
He goes in the centrifuge to set up the experiments for later, and someone in the control room turns it on, and he is ripped to pieces. And the reason why it's a suspected murder and suspicious activity, and the reason why it can go to court, is because his ghost has shown up. Doctor Strange is like, yeah, so I found this ghost, and he's been murdered, so we're going to take it to trial.
Murder? What makes you think it was murder?
It's murder! So, but the story begins, like, the start of the case is, like, the judge wants to sort of throw it out, and, you know, the defence for the guy's wife, who seems to be the chief suspect, wants to throw it out on the grounds that this court serves the living. Like, there's no rules about us serving the dead. So She-Hulk brings in Ben Grimm, who at this point has been dead at least once. It's like, right, so here's my first witness, is my friend Benjamin Grimm. You've been dead. Yep.
Benjamin J. Grimm.
Benjamin J. Grimm. You've been dead, yep, and I don't recommend it. Great. You're alive now. Yeah. Do you feel like you should be represented if you wanted to come to a court of law? Do you feel like the court should be able to represent... Well, obviously, yeah, I'm alive. So then the judge is like, yeah, but just because, like, people in your line of work can come back from the dead doesn't mean that, like, they're not dead, they're alive. He's alive. He can be represented. She's like, yes, but what I'm trying to prove is that anyone who's dead could theoretically come back to life.
Yeah.
It's possible. And the judge says, only to you superhero types. And then Jane goes, okay, show of hands. In the infamous Infinity Gauntlet event that occurred a few years ago, who here was snapped out of existence and then brought back? And about half of the court put their hands up, and she goes, would you wish to be represented in a court of law? Should you need a lawyer or representation right now? And they're all like, yeah. She turns back to the judge, she's like, there you go. And he's like, fuck, we're having a recess. When we come back, we'll assess this man's case. And it's like, great, there we go. They come back, he accuses the wife, and not the co-worker who was on site as well, and she wanted to do it as revenge. But that's when Jen and her colleague, Mallory Book, get sort of a suspicion that there's more going on here. And again, I won't spoil it, there is more to it, but it's like finding that intriguing kind of superhuman way to go around it. There's a dude who in an accident at work gets superpowers. He becomes this like glowing Adonis of a man. Who's like always sort of got a radioactive glow to his body.
Is his name
he started exhibiting other superpowers, who wants to sue the company that he worked for. But they're like, you have no grounds for suing them here because you were not injured in an accident at work. You became a better human. Like, you are literally a superhuman. You have a healing factor. You've gone handsome as fuck. You're cut like a goddamn mountain. Like, people have to chisel their way to getting abs like yours. Like, he's got cum gutters.
Yeah.
Regular old cum gutters.
Fucking hell.
Like, he's this gorgeous superhuman now. Who's like invulnerable.
Is there any other kind?
But he's like, so he can't sue them because you weren't injured.
This is true.
You were improved. You were healed. You were revived. Meanwhile, back at home, he's having to sleep in the guest bedroom because every time he turns over in his sleep, he's broken one of his wife's bones. His daughter's being bullied at school. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there's this whole side of it where you go, yeah, this is... She's terrified, his wife's terrified that he's going to leave her for like... she sort of has a nightmare where like Scarlet Witch... No, but she plays a big part in the series. Scarlet Witch and like She-Hulk and Wasp are all fawning over him and he's hanging out with the Avengers. You know what I mean? There's like real distress is being caused in the family because of all this. And like, it's a great idea for a story because it's like, She-Hulk and her firm have to prove that he was injured.
Yeah.
And the way that they do it, and this isn't the climax of the story because there's way more to the story, but the way they do it is they prove that he died. He died when he fell in that vat. He's gone. Like, you're claiming that your client was improved. I'm claiming that your client, your employee, doesn't exist anymore. Ergo, your company killed him. Ergo, you should pay out the life insurance. Do you know what I mean? Like, to his family.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. There's some great stuff. But the most infamous one from that period of the book is... So one of the guys who works there, whose sweet nickname is Pug, he was a law student, then became a bouncer. And then one night he was nearly killed by the Magier who were just being cocky shits getting into the club.
Yeah.
He was saved by Spider-Man. The reason why he went back into law and found out this company and wanted to join them in superhero cases is because he wants to essentially look out for superheroes. You look out for us, who's looking out for you?
Yeah.
He moves into the apartment building that Jen is moved into for the law firm, so we can keep an eye on her. And she's like, that's a bit creepy. And he's like, honestly, if you feel that way, I will go. I will move somewhere else. I just want you to know there's someone here who can help you out. I'm not trying to encroach on her. This isn't me asking you out on a date. If you need a hand, because I know how fucking tough this is. And he does form an attachment to her, which she never sort of notices. And eventually, he grows out of in a completely healthy, non-toxic way.
Fantastic.
And it's like, what a great bit of storytelling.
I do love that. I do love completely healthy, non-toxic character growth.
Because, of course, your lead character of this book, she is going through toxic relationships where she is basically just using people as temporary gratification and then moving on. And she has to come to terms with that over time. And, there's a whole thing with her and John Jameson becoming an item and then getting married.
Ooh.
And then the fact that marriage may or may not accidentally have been influenced by...
Who?
Star
Fox.
Star Fox, a.k.a.
Eros.
That's it. The brother of the Mad Titan and man whose power basically is low-key aphrodisiac pheromones. Which becomes a court case storyline. Which is fascinating because this dude was an Avenger in the 80s and is a fan favourite character for a lot of people. And this was the first story to sort of go, yeah, cool. Isn't his superpower basically Rehypnol?
Yeah.
Do we want to be giving this guy a pass? And by the end of all that stuff, you do learn that he has never violated the sort of the consent of his friends, but he also has been fast and loose with it to a point where he may have forgotten boundaries. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you've never maliciously or harmfully intended to commit, essentially, sexual assault. But the reason why it comes around is because he sleeps with a woman on Earth during a visit.
Yeah.
Who is married with children and had no desire to do it. He didn't make her do it, but he obviously didn't realise that she has a life beyond me meeting her, flirting with her, and us going back to her hotel room to have sex.
Yes. He
never checked it. So it's that thing of, you never checked to see if she was single and ready to mingle. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if she... Because they talk about, part of his power is that the person who does it does kind of want to do it, but on that subconscious, this hot guy's flirting with me and that's kind of nice sort of level. Do you know what I mean?
Guy.
So they really go into the intricacy of it, where it's like, we're not letting him get away from this scot-free, but we also know that these situations... But we also know that these situations can be a lot more complex than, he violated someone. You know what I mean? And it sort of used it as an allegory for these stories in real life.
Yeah.
It's done with so much care and no piss take or humour around it.
Yes.
But it uses these fantastical situations to tell the story. And then the lasting effect of his kind of pheromone power stick around, because working for them is one of the Mad Thinker's old androids, the Awesome Android.
Yes.
Who is now nicknamed Awesome Andy.
Yes.
Who's just this giant grey hulking creature with a square block for a head.
Yeah.
Who communicates with a little chalkboard around his neck and does odd jobs around the office, because they've realised that this is a supervillain's semi-sentient android.
Yeah. Who's
not a villain. And he's taken away as evidence in a case.
Yeah.
And then they give him a job and give him a flat in the apartment block, because they're like, why wouldn't we? He helps everyone out. He's not malicious, and he seems to have at least a basic sentience.
Yeah.
The guy deserves the chance to work and live, so let's give him that.
As do we all.
And Awesome Andy gets into this relationship with Mallory Book, and that becomes awkward. Because, she was madly in love with another person, and it starts to move her out to the Two Gun Kid. And there's all this stuff.
Sure.
Oh, it's great. The Two Gun Kid gets brought in because there's a crime committed where a guy murders someone because he knows that man was going to murder him a week from then.
Yes.
And they have to examine the case, but because it's a time crime, the TVA are brought in to like mediate the court case.
Yes, you mentioned this.
It's so good.
On the podcast.
And the two-gun kid is at the end of that. It's like, all right, you've got to take somebody back from us. Like this guy, we've taken him because he was involved in too many time traveling things, but he's obviously not a threat.
Yeah.
He's a good person. We've assessed him. So you have to take him back to your time and basically be his custodian. And make sure that he settles in and ingratiates into the modern day. Which the two-gun kid has been in the modern day enough. Those don't know. He's basically a gun-toting cowboy superhero from the Wild West.
Isn't he the one that there was a lot of controversy because they did a Marvel Max two-gun kid and they made him gay?
Yeah, which is like, what's the problem there?
I think it was...
honestly, what's the problem there?
I think it was the portrayal. Not the...
the way they did it. Yeah. Okay, all right.
From what I remember.
It is a complete coincidence and not at all a dirty sex joke that I am, as we're now wrapping up that little moment, opening up a box of mint fingers.
Oh, mint fingers.
Yeah, but it all ties back into Pug wanting to help superheroes and his statement case.
Yes.
Where he wants Jen to be the first, but she tricks him into being the first because technically she's involved in the case in some way. Because she is, at this point, dating John Jameson, which means she's attached to one of the people who's being prosecuted. So, no, sorry, can't be involved.
No one likes a conflict of interest.
They approach Spider-Man by making a shit little spider signal and shining it on a building. And they approach Spider-Man and they say, right, okay, how would you like us to help you take down your greatest enemy? Spider-Man's like, I can't see how suing the Green Goblin or Doc Ock is going to make a dent.
No, your real greatest enemy.
And they shine the light on the Daily Bugle.
Yay!
And he's like, oh. So he takes Jameson to court. And this is probably the most, like, scene...
Oh, yeah, I know exactly the panel you mean.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Or the page, I should say.
They get Jameson in, and they basically prove that Jameson is the bigger menace, meaning that he's been projecting. So that's their case. He's been projecting onto Spider-Man things that Spider-Man has never done. And as such, it's defamation of their client. And because they link into the whole, like, Scorpion. That happened because you co-financed it. The Spider Slayers, you co-financed it, and at one point piloted one of them with your freaking face on a little telly screen on it.
Oh,
like you
great
are
early Spider-Man right there.
So good stuff that again Dan Slott clearly loves because he brings it up here and then adapts it into later Spider-Man stuff, and it's used later on. Like Chip Zdarsky taps into it in Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man.
Why wouldn't you? Robot
stuff. Little Jameson's face
on a tiny little screen.
And so you've got all that stuff going on, but then you have the moment where Spider-Man goes to the stand. He web swings into the court and lands in the witness box, and the prosecution says, "Like, objection! We don't even know that that's him." He's like going, "You
really?
What?" It's like, "Yeah, you're wearing a mask. I just swung in here and crawled down the wall."
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what do
you want?
Point you want to make here, but they said, "Why do you think it is that Mr. Jameson targets you so violently all the time?" And Spider-Man sort of just sits back in the witness box and goes, "Oh God, that's easy. It's because I'm black."
It's so good.
Everyone, I've never seen illustrations so perfectly depict a room full of people's arseholes tightening.
Yeah.
They all go like, "Oh God." And the prosecution even looks at his client, and Jameson's like, No, I didn't. I have
some of my best friends. Yeah.
The last thing he manages to write is some of my best friends, and that's when Spidey cuts in and goes, "Yeah, I'm kidding." But it's the fact that he waits long enough for him to go back to that old fucking chestnut.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's so good. I really recommend it. You learn a bit more about Jen's lore as it goes on. The ongoing rivalry with Titania, which of course will be relevant, a required reading for some who are curious before the She-Hulk series.
Jamil turning up as Titania, which is interesting casting.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I wonder if Absorbing Man will rock back up into it. Because they're married in the comics.
Nah, they won't.
And there is a Crusher Creel. He was in season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
The actor was really good. So it wouldn't exactly hurt to just go, "Do you want to play him again in this
And he
Disney
was
show?"
an absorbing man.
He did absorb.
Stuff was absorbed by him.
It's also an excuse for cameos too.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Doctor Strange pops up more than once in this series. There's an episode, there was a story arc about Spider-Man, like suing Jameson, and the way that wraps up. Do you know how it wraps up?
No.
So they're so successful that they're nearing wrapping up the case. But that's when Ditto, their assistant, is a shapeshifter, which is great for serving people with subpoenas.
Sure. I'll bet.
serves Peter Parker with a subpoena.
Oh.
Because his pictures have helped J. Jonah Jameson with his smear campaign.
Ah.
So Peter would have to prove that, like, that was not his intent. But, of course, once he does that in the court, the defence, so She-Hulk and Pug, point out that, but you saw what he did with your early stuff, yet you kept giving him pictures. So if you believe that he's being harsh on him, which we believe that you think he's being horrible to Spider-Man, but you still gave him fuel for the fire. Also, wasn't there a case of you doctoring a photo one time, and then there was a case of this one time, and he's just like, there was one time where, like, Dr. Octopus revealed that you were Spider-Man, which obviously is not true, but, like, you know, who's to say you weren't taking photographs in a replica costume and selling them on?
Meaning that happens.
Yeah, but, like, meaning that you are helping Jameson perpetuate these lies about Spider-Man. And Peter's in court, so like, okay, yeah. And then it cuts to Spider-Man arriving at the offices after hours, knocking on the window, being like, "Hi, I want to settle. I want to settle." And they're like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I want to settle." It's like, why? It's just like, I think this is going to go on too long and it's ridiculous. I want to settle. I probably couldn't even cash the check anyway. I want to settle. It's like, you're on the way to possibly make millions. He's like, "I want to settle. I want to settle.
Please."
And here are my terms. And essentially the terms that are worked out as punishment for Jameson and Peter Parker are that they have to wear chicken suits for a day, stand outside the Bugle, and hand out a special edition of the Bugle talking about how great Spider-Man is.
Good.
Which, of course, Peter's just enjoying, because he's like, you know, nothing tastes better than not being sued.
Nothing tastes better than the chicken I'm dressed as.
Yeah, whereas Jameson's hating it, and every time Peter's like, "Oh, come on, Jonah, this is fun." He's like, "Stop using my name!
Jolly Jonah.
Stop using my name!" Yeah, I recommend She-Hulk a lot. You binged a shitload of Fantastic Four for about a year.
I did.
Thanks to Marvel Unlimited.
I read the first 300 odd issues. And then I got into the 90s stuff, where it gets bad.
Oh, pre-Mark Waid.
Yeah, like pre-Onslaught stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like, oh, let's bring a future version of Franklin back who's all grown up, but now he's a villain, and he has weird powers, and now Sue's got an evil personality inside her called Malice, who dresses in bondage gear, and that. Yeah.
God, that era, yeah.
It's fucking weird.
How does it work binging from the 60s? Is it just you pick the title and carry on, or was there a reading list that you went with?
No, I just went to Fantastic Four and read it all. Not the best idea. There's a lot of guff in there. But
I mean, original Fantastic Four, right, first few years,
those first
Stan and Jack,
102 issues are really strong.
a lot of stuff dated, absolutely dated in some ways.
Too right.
But that sense of fun and adventure and just like having a good time is there. The Thing is so easily established in the early run as like one of the best characters Marvel's got. Mm-hmm. Like, he's so freaking wonderful.
I love Ben Grimm. Anyone who knows me can tell you that I love Ben Grimm.
You say it all the time.
I do say it all
it's
the
your
time.
catchphrase on this podcast.
Yeah, I love Benjamin J. Grimm. The ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
Is that how you worded it every time as well? I love Benjamin J. Grimm, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
Because he is ever-loving and blue-eyed. Just... Damn those Yancey Street kids. So, yeah, you can do... As a thing you can do on Marvel Unlimited, you can binge a series. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it. And then they have reading lists for, like, events and stuff, so I did things like read... like a bunch of the X events from the 90s, like I read all of Fatal Attractions.
Okay.
Don't. I read all of Executioner's Song.
To feel slightly better, you just went back and read the swimsuit issues. For the articles. Articles.
I love the articles. I don't even know if the swimsuit issues are on there.
They're probably not, because weren't they Wizard publications?
No, I think they were Marvel publications. I just don't think they're on there.
Give me a minute.
Because why would they be? It's just cheesecake.
Yeah, but the X-Men's a soap opera, so like, why wouldn't they have the Hollyoaks yearly calendar?
Yeah, true. That's true. As well.
0 results for swimsuit.
Yeah, there we go. You know, it's one of those things you can go back and read the Infinity Gauntlet. But why would you?
Read issues 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
All of Star Wars, the Star Wars stuff's all on there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is on my
Yeah,
to read stuff because
that's
I
well
want
worth
to catch
reading.
up with that.
Yeah.
It's Jason Aaron, isn't it?
It starts with Jason Aaron, then Kieran Gillen takes over.
Oh, well, there you go. Kieran Gillen's incredible.
And then
you can follow by author too. That's another thing you can do. You can follow by writer and artist if you just want to really dip into it. There's
I think Charles Soule
creator
takes
series
over when it gets renumbered.
So you can see which writers and which artists like create characters at the beginning, and you can follow their work throughout that.
Yep.
There's a little photo of Stan there.
Ah, Stan!
You ever love him, blue-eyed Stan?
You ever love it? Yeah, okay.
What I like about them is some of them are portfolio like photo shoot pictures, and some of them are clearly just like taken off of Facebook and stuff, which is quite fun.
And then some are just the Unlimited logo.
Yeah,
Because they don't have pictures.
It's Chris Claremont there looking like Terence Stamp.
Yes.
If Terence Stamp and Malcolm McDowell had a baby.
Yes. Chris Claremont.
Jack Kirby with the thickest eyebrows and turtleneck on the whole database.
Get in there and read the Chris Claremont fucking X-Men run.
I need to get on that. Something that they've introduced recently as well for anyone who's like, do you know what? I like the sound of this. Again, we're not sponsored, but if they'd like to, you can do a 7-day free trial anytime. And you could do a monthly subscription from $9.99 a month, so about £7 something a month.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying it after a couple of months and you're like, do you know what, I'll drop 50 quid on it, that'll give you a year. So you're saving a lot of money doing a year's subscription. But something they've introduced recently with the update for the app is called Infinity Comics.
Oh, no, I remember these.
Yeah, they've revamped the line, which essentially it's primers. It's like, here's an introduction to these characters, some original materials, some selective stuff, some database things, Marvel Handbook kind of dealios. And they sort of sync up to certain series, or provide brand new stories of certain series, and they dip back into all the things. So usually with what's going on in the world as well, they'll team up with that and cross over. So the most recent ones have been Ms. Marvel, Spider-Gwen, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, who have been in the series I've been reading a lot lately, which I didn't expect, which has been Venom. And I'm like, there is a lot of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur in the series. Moon Knight, a Venom comic, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Amazing Spider-Man. Fucking lovely little run of Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, specifically, which is such an underrated, weird little comic. But very nice if you just have to sort of a teen drama kind of book.
Yeah.
It's very loosely... It's not canon, but it's like you could imagine it was if you wanted, because it's just cute. Black Widow, Amazing Fantasy Prelude, a bunch of Shang-Chi. It's Jeff, which is the shark. There's been a lot of It's Jeff lately. It's Jeff.
It's Jeff.
Little shark. Captain America books. Little Marvels, so some Scotty Young fun cartoon stuff.
Scotty Young. Love it.
Can't remember Scotty Young.
Love it.
X-Men Unlimited. As recently this week, Venom/Carnage is one, so obviously setting up for that sort of stuff. I've been reading Venom, the Mike Costa run.
All right, I've not read any of that.
Which is...
the last Venom I read was the
2016?
Age of Venom stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I followed the Flash Thompson one up until it finished in the books, and then I read a bit of his time in Thunderbolts, and then I kind of need to find a way of following his stuff proper, because then all I read of him after that was when he would pop into Amazing Spider-Man.
He was in
He was in a couple Guardians, because he went on to become Venom Space Knight, where they finally went to the planet of the symbiotes and learned that the species are called the Clintar. And the planet is Clintar.
We are all Clintar.
And we learned that the symbiotes aren't a nasty, horrible parasitic race by law. Like, they just want to bond with the host and exist. That's all they want.
They just want to be loved.
Except that gets complicated where I'm up to now. In the Donny Cates.
Are you getting into the war, the King in Black stuff?
Heading into it. Yeah. I've met Null. And that's all begun. And now we're in 2018, 2019. So the look of the book and some of the relationships are starting to become recognisable to people who in 2018 have just met Venom by watching a certain motion picture starring Tom Hardy.
Venom.
Yeah. So,
knock.
Let the devil in.
Let the devil in.
More on that in a couple of weeks.
Oh, God.
But, I'm loving it. And the thing is, reading this has made me remember why I did like that character at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Like that character at any point?
Because when a good writer who's got a good idea writes them, it's pretty fucking spectacular. Like,
I mean, I've got no
as
problem
a
with
kid,
Venom.
I like Venom because he just looked cool, as most people still just like Venom because he looks cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Avi.
But like the book that made me go, I actually really like Venom was the Daniel Way series, like the 15-issue series from the early 2000s, which starts out essentially as a remake of The Thing.
Yes.
With a symbiote sample in a lab in Antarctica, and that run is... If anyone's like, I want to read something with Venom in it, pick up the Daniel Way run, or get Marvel Unlimited for a free trial and read the Daniel Way, 15-issue run.
2003?
Beautiful artwork, Humberto Ramos, early in his Marvel days.
Yeah, love Humberto Ramos.
Fucking stunning. If you want a good-looking Venom book, the story's alright. Venom versus Carnage from 2005, 2006? That is a beautiful looking book. It's Clayton Crane's early Marvel work.
Clayton Crane's an incredible artist.
He draws symbiotes like no one else because he's got that digital painting look to everything.
Yeah,
so they look sinewy and and this thing is, it's actually making me a little more pliant towards going to see Venom Let There Be Carnage now because I'm like, all right, okay.
I mean, it's gonna be fucking weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it'll be shite. It'll be shite, but it'll be fun shite, I think.
Speaking about fun shite.
You spotted the giant book on the desk.
Yeah, let's get into the giant book on the desk.
So I was bought this a while back, Christmas present, I think.
Yeah.
It's called Obsessed with Marvel, by Peter Sanderson and Mark Simirak. And it's a couple of years old, this edition. I'm using my face to turn pages.
Put it over your face.
Put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth. This was published in 2017, so missing the last, 5 years of stuff.
Good, because so am I.
But this is a Marvel trivia book.
Yeah.
That's a pretty thick one, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, I want to touch
That's
it.
about an inch thick.
Yeah.
Have a little paw.
Good.
Don't read the pages too much, but have a little paw through it. See how extensive this is.
It's got a nice wiggle to it. You can hear the wheel? There we go, that's a good wiggle.
I think this was created mostly to act as it's got factoids throughout it about different eras and different stories.
I see that it's broken up by character, which is quite good.
Yeah, different segments on certain characters or certain story arcs, certain eras of the publisher even in some places.
Yeah, give me some X-Men shit, yeah.
But what's quite cool about this book is I think it only exists for, pub quiz writers.
In the back, yeah.
Because it's very extensive. This is nuts. It is nutso. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I did a live stream with Lou the other day where we played that over there, the M&S Marvel Comics quiz card game.
Alright, okay.
Now, it's bookmarked in it because we're going to do part 2 soon.
Alright, I'm going to leave that.
But that is odd because every card is a 50-50 chance of it being 3, oh, that one, yay, kind of questions. Or 3, you fucking what? I have no idea what that is, kind of questions. And that's a Marks and Spencer, stocking filler gift that is pounding your brain into paste.
I'm already looking at the 3 questions on the back, and I have no fucking idea.
And then you've got this book, which is triple that. So I thought, why not? We have a little sort of, let's see if we can get any of these. Not even a competition, just can we answer any of these?
Well,
kind of thingy.
Where do we want to start? We've got 9 chapters. We've got Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, The Avengers, X-Men, The Incredible Hulk, Marvel Knights, Horror Heroes, Cosmic Characters, and Marvel Time.
Marvel Time.
Marvel Time it is.
I wasn't selecting, I was just singing, but I'll do it. Let's do it. I'm curious.
231 it starts at. 2331. Just 2,500 questions in this. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
2331 Marvel Time.
Stop. Marvel Time. Oh.
Right, alright. Question 2331.
Okay.
What is Baron Strucker's first name? Is it A. Ernst, B. Wolfgang, C. Werner, or D. Fritz?
I think his is Wolfgang B. Wolfgang von Strucker.
You're correct.
Hey!
2332.
Play along at home.
Whose battle cry was OK Axis, here we come? A. Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, B. The Invaders, C. The 1940s Young Allies, or D. The Kid Commandos?
Okay, Axis. I'm assuming Axis of Evil.
Yeah, it's a World War II thing.
I'm gonna... this is a total stab in the dark. I'm gonna say C.
It was B. The Invaders.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
2333. Which fellow member of the Liberty Legion did Miss America marry? Was it A. The Thin Man, B. The Blue Diamond, C. The Whizzer, or D. The Patriot?
I've barely heard of any of these characters. I'm going to say the Patriot, because it seems like the most obvious thing for Miss America to
No,
do.
you're wrong. It was C, the Whizzer.
Oh, the Whizzer! Whizzer and Chips! Are these chronological by year as well?
I don't know. No, they can't be, because the other stuff's earlier. I think.
Oh, no, I mean in each section, sorry. Is it sort of like chronological questions? Because like these seem to be very early Marvel Comics days kind of.
No, because it jumps in a couple of questions. You'll see. Okay, 2334. Who created the original Marvel Boy of the 1940s? Was it A. Bill Everett, B. Bob Oxner, C. Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, or D. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby?
What were the first two again?
A. Bill Everett, B. Bob Oxner.
I think it was Bob Oxner.
It was not Bob Oxner.
Ah, damn it.
It was
I'm only going off of like when he operated.
It was Joe Simon and Jack Kirby.
Of course, yeah.
Who also created
Captain America.
Yay!
Which is brilliant here because like that was I was thinking like 40s. Who's working there at that point?
Yeah.
But also everyone's called Marvel here because the company's not called Marvel yet.
Nope.
Like
And everyone was chasing.
It's Timely
after,
Comics at this point.
Everyone was chasing after the Charlton Comics Captain Marvel popularity. That's what.
Yeah, because he'd come after Superman for Charlton, and everyone was like, "This guy's great," and then started buying his books, and everyone was chasing that dragon, while DC were going, "We're gonna sue a bitch," and then instead, "We're gonna buy a bitch, and then we're not gonna use their bitch," and then eventually go, "We've got a Captain Marvel character. We should probably do something with it." Just call him Shazam.
2335. Who has not been known as Marvel Boy?
Oh fuck.
A. Martin Burns, B. Vance Astrovic, C. Jeff Mace, or D. Robert Grayson?
Vance Astrovic?
You are wrong. It is in fact C. Jeff Mace.
Total stab in the dark.
I don't
if
know
I'm
the
honest.
fuck Martin Burns and Jeff Mace are.
But you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's deep cut shit in this book. Let's like for example, let's pick another section. Let's head to a more sort of known
X-Men,
one.
because I know X-Men.
You know your X-Men.
I know some of my X-Men.
1093. And let's see, because it's just deep cuts. It's got a page one of the X-Men
I'm loving
questions.
some of the deep cuts, though.
Which Marvel hero... I mean, the fact that this is an X-Men section probably will narrow this down. Which Marvel hero debuted in The X-Men number 10, 1965? I know, right?
Options.
Is it A, The Mimic, B, Quicksilver, C, Scarlet Witch, or D, Kazar? Lord of the Savage Land.
It's Kazar.
It is Kazar.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Who created the Sentinels? Dr. Stephen Lang, Judge Chalmers, Dr. Bolivar Trask, or Larry Trask?
See, that's a way easier one. That's Bolivar Trask.
I know, but Larry Trask is such a
Trask.
great name.
There is a Larry Trask. That's one of his descendants.
To whom was Charles Xavier once engaged? Gabrielle Haller, Emma Frost, Raven Doug Home, or Moira McTaggart?
I think he was only engaged to... Out of those, I think he had relationships with all of them, but I think the only one he was engaged to, and I could be wrong, is Moira.
It's Moira.
Yeah.
It's Moira! Do-do-do-do-do-do! How did the Juggernaut get his powers? From a magic ruby, mutation, genetic engineering, from a magic spell.
It is indeed from a magic ruby.
A ruby. Ah! Is a ruby a gem?
Yeah. A ruby's a kind of gemstone.
Can you get any Sitarak cuttings at... I'm trying to think of a jewellery shop.
There's a fossil shop in
jewellery shop.
Edinburgh,
Fossil, there we go.
There we go.
Fossil. What's the other one? What's the one that does the bracelets? Everyone's charm bracelets. Pandora, that's it.
As opposed to Potdora. That got him!
Who or what is Zabu? A war scroll, one of the Morlocks, a saber-toothed tiger, or a member of a Savage Land tribe?
It is a saber-toothed tiger belonging to the aforementioned Khazar.
That's 2 Khazar questions on one page.
Yeah.
Who was not an original member of the First Brotherhood of Evil Mutants? Who was not an original member? The Toad, the Blob, the Scarlet Witch, or the Mastermind? Which is just Mastermind. I added it there for comedic effect.
Blob.
That is what I would. That is actually what I would have known. I would have struggled with a lot of this page.
They recruited Blob after their first appearance, from what I remember.
What is the Master Mold? an enormous mutant fungus, a master roboticist,
Quite like that.
Magneto's device for creating artificial mutants, or an enormous sentinel?
It's an enormous, like, comically huge sentinel that makes little sentinels.
It's a comically huge sentinel.
It is a comically huge sentinel that sits on a big chair and makes sentinels. The 60s were a fucking wild time, man.
Does it poop them out? I'm going to skip a little ahead to see what we do with the X-Men.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. No doubt.
Right there. Cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Oh, hang on. No, there is a difficulty level.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hang on.
Oh.
Oh, no, there isn't. No, there isn't.
Oh.
No, there isn't. Sorry. I thought there was. There's a thing called
Sorry.
Obsessed with Marvel. in the
That's
bottom
just what it's
corner, but
called.
That's the name of the fucking
That's just
book.
the name of the book.
Who drew the original Long Shot miniseries? Bill Sienkiewicz? Sienkiewicz? Well done. I mean, it's not that.
No, it's not Sienkiewicz.
John Romita Jr., Arthur Adams, or Walter Simonson?
It's Arthur Adams.
It's Arthur Adams. Who is Longshot? A mutant with
some
good luck
cunt.
powers? An alien humanoid from another planet? Artificially created humanoid from another dimension? Or a stuntman who gains superpowers?
It's kind of all of the above. Artificially created human from another dimension.
Fuck yeah.
Because he's from Mojo World.
How many fingers has he got?
3.
Incorrect. He has 8. 2 thumbs.
And 3
6 fingers.
Fuck off. I hate you.
Who is Deathbird?
Oh.
Lalandra's sister,
Yeah.
Lalandra's mother, one of Apocalypse's horsemen, or one of Count Nefarious Ani-Men?
No, she's Lalandra's sister.
Fuck yeah, she is. With which Earth creatures beside humans do the Shi'ar share physical attributes?
Birds.
Yep.
Next! This is all good Claremont stuff now. This is like my era of X-Men.
Who ordered the Marauders to massacre the Morlocks? That sounds like a great lyric in a metal track. By the way. Who ordered the Marauders to massacre the Morlocks? Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, Bastion, or Magneto?
It was Mr. Sinister.
Fuck yeah, it was. Who is not one of the Marauders? Arclight, Scalp Hunter, Harpoon, or Warhawk? Dead air on a podcast, boys and girls.
Scalp Hunter. I think he might be one of the Reavers.
Now it's Warhawk.
Oh, okay. Oh no,
That's your first incorrect one, though.
Warhawk's the fucking weird Luke Cage villain who's got blue skin. That's who Warhawk is. You just pop up in that era.
Comics, everyone.
Yeah.
Comics.
Yeah.
Which member of the X-Men has an M tattooed on his or her face?
Bishop.
Yeah. What is Bamf?
Yes.
What is Bamf?
It's the sound that Nightcrawler makes when he teleports.
That is verbatim answer C. The sound Nightcrawler makes when teleporting.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Right.
I know what a Bamf is.
Spider-Man me.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
We've been to your soap opera. I want my soap opera.
Spider can. Okay.
Oh, we're going mid-era. All right. Hit me. Hit me with your rhythm sticks. Are you looking at the sort of? Does it go sort of chronologically?
Kind of, but not. It does. I don't know. Anyway,
It's sort of like the first few pages will be questions from the first 5 years, then the next few pages will be questions from the next 5 years, but not in order of release.
A lot of it. Anyway, let's go. Let's go. 523. Oh, you'll get these. You get these piss easy.
Oh God, great.
What's the origin of Carnage?
Well, how they word it.
Is it A, bonded with an alien symbiote that came to Earth, B, bonded with an alien symbiote in outer space, C, offspring of alien symbiote, or D, scientists who clone venom symbiote?
Offspring of an alien symbiote.
Yes, of course.
Venom escaped prison and spat out a little red bit, and then that little red bit attached to Clear's Cassidy.
There's a massive question that's got a whole... I'm just going to read the whole question because it's an entire page long. Since Spider-Man was such a tremendously successful character, it was inevitable that Marvel...
Wait, is that a question?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Marvel would introduce his female counterpart, Spider-Woman. In fact, over the decades, there have been 3 superheroines known as Spider-Woman. The first and best known is Jessica Drew, who was introduced in Marvel Premiere number 32 in February 1977 and starred in an 50-issue Spider-Woman comic book, issue 1 shown at left. She was originally depicted as a spider whom the High Evolutionary had turned into a superpowered human, but Stan Lee instead decided to have her revealed to be a human who had been endowed with spider-like powers. The next Spider-Woman, Julia Carpenter, was introduced in the London limited series Marvel Superhero Secret Wars in 1984. The third, Matty Franklin, debuted as Spider-Woman in Amazing Spider-Man number 5 in 1999 and starred in her own short-lived series. Recently, Jessica Drew resumed her costume career and joined the New Avengers. Which of the following places was among Jessica Drew's base of operations? Is it A, Berlin, B, Madripoor, C, Cairo, or D, Beirut?
Wait, hang on. What's the fucking question? Like, basically, that was a history of Spider-Woman up to at least Matty Franklin. And then recently, what's been her base of operations?
Recently, Jessica Drew
as of the publication of this 2017 quiz book.
No. Recently, as of the publication of this 2017 quiz book, Jessica Drew has resumed her costume career and joined the New Avengers.
Yes. True.
Which of the following places was among Jessica Drew's base of operations?
Fuck. Okay, so is it
A, Berlin, B, Madripoor, C, Cairo, or D, Beirut? Do you like a clue? Because I know the answer to this without looking.
Yes. Clue would be nice.
This is partly during the period in which she popped up in Wolverine's solo series.
That'd be Madripoor then. Yeah. Okay. So this is post her initial run. It was mostly just her tidying up Hydra shit and being like, "How dare you tell me what to do, you bastards!
You bastards!
You bastards! Yeah."
525. Who was not a member of the Outlaws? A, Prowler, B, Rocket Racer, C, the Black Cat, or D, Sandman?
Sandman.
Nope. It was the Black Cat.
Felicia does tend to operate solo.
526. What kind of organisation is Silver Sable International? A, soldiers, B, charity foundation, C, high-tech manufacturer, or D, fashion design?
What was the first one again?
A, mercenary soldiers.
Oh, mercenary soldiers. Yeah, the mercenary soldiers.
Okay.
Silver Sable and the Wild Pack.
527. What is not true about Kane?
Oh shit! What the disfigured and
seemingly
evil clone of Peter Parker? Okay.
Save it.
Yeah.
A, he is an imperfect clone of Spider-Man. B, he was destroyed by another clone, Spider-Side. C, his body and face are covered with scars. Or D, he can burn the mark of Kane onto a victim.
He was destroyed by Spider-Side.
That is the one thing that's not true, yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Side did some shit to him, but he wasn't destroyed by Spider-Side.
Spider-Side. 528. Whom did Flash Thompson once marry in the Spider-Girl Tim line?
So we're not even talking 616.
Was it A, Liz Allen, B, Betty Brant, C, Felicia Hardy, or D, Glory Grant?
I'm going to guess here. I think it was Betty Brant. Because Flash and Betty became romantically entangled in the 616 years later during the Venom series.
Are you sure about that?
Well, not now you've said that, but like it feels like something where it would have been road tested in this alternate universe book, and people were like, "That's kind of fun," and that stuck around, and they did it later.
It was C, Felicia Hardy.
Of course, narrowing the cast down so that they all have to interact and get into japes and scrapes together.
529. Which of the following Spider-Man adversaries once owned the Daily Bugle? A, Norman Osborn, B, Thomas Fireheart, C, J. Jonah Jameson, or D, all answers are correct.
All answers are correct.
Yeah, all answers are correct.
Yeah, Jameson owned it for the longest. Osborn financially owned it for a long time, and Thomas Fireheart's fucking Puma, right?
Fuck knows. I don't know. You know more about this than I do.
Yeah.
530. Who was once a heroic version of the Green Goblin?
Oh.
Was it A, Dr. Barton Hamilton, B, Phil Urich, C, Ned Leeds, or D, Jason Macendale?
It was B, Phil Urich.
It was.
Who later on in the slot run becomes the Hobgoblin and is a supervillain and is one of the most interesting and psychotic characters from that run.
Yeah, he goes through some shit. Goes to
that brilliant bit where his identity is rumbled while he's at work. And it's like, oh, that's so good because it's during Superior Spider-Man.
Yes.
Because Otto's like, I don't give a fuck about this guy. Like, expose him. Let's do it. And it's like, oh my god. Yeah, that's great. It's a really good run. I prefer Phil. Having read some of his 90s stuff as the Green Goblin, I prefer him as the Hobgoblin and as a villain. He's a lot more interesting as a villain. 531.
In Marvel 1602, to whom is Peter Parker's counterpart, Peter Parquois, apprenticed? Is it A, Sir Richard Reed, B, Dr. Stephen Strange, C, Sir Nicholas Fury, or D, Matthew Murdoch.
I've not read this, but I think it's strange.
What's strange?
Stephen Strange. Swine.
Maybe, but who am I to say?
It's not
no.
Reed Richards.
It's Sir Nicholas Fury.
Oh, just neither.
Sir Nicholas Fury, the nude wonder. Hit me with something.
The nude wonder?
Yeah, because he's Nicholas.
Oh. Ah!
Hey!
That was the correct answer.
Let's do one more page each and then we'll fucking call this a day.
Any specific category you want to tackle? Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Avengers,
Hit me with a random page.
Oh shit, here we go. Say when.
Hit me with a random... Now.
Okay, we've landed in Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Alan Spider-Man.
J. Allen Spider-Man.
J. Allen Spider-Man.
Hit me with a page, baby. Hit me with your best page.
Fire a weeb.
Fire a weeb.
Where'd you get the answer for the big questions?
They're still in order because the big questions are just they take them out of the thing. So you see there, that 591 is that question.
Oh, I can see it.
So
yeah,
you just go in order.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I'm intrigued about this one. Oh, fuck. Right, okay. Yeah, okay, no. I think you'll get this because the artwork might be an indicator of who this could be.
Cool.
And in terms of the artists discussed. In 1990, the first issue of the new Spider-Man comic...
Is that the big question?
Yes.
Okay, do the whole page.
Became what I will do, but this is right.
Okay.
Became one of the top-selling comic books of all time.
Todd McFarlane.
No, that's not the answer. With its various editions with different covers, Spider-Man #1, shown it right, adjectiveless Spider-Man, sold at least 2.5 million copies.
It did.
This series was nicknamed the Adjectiveless Spider-Man to distinguish it from the original series.
Adjectiveless Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man and the Spectacular Spider-Man. Artist Todd McFarlane had already made a name for himself, collaborating with writer David Michelin on the Amazing Spider-Man. Editor Jim Salicrup gave McFarlane the opportunity to write and draw this new Spider-Man series himself. Through modifying Spider-Man's costume and putting the character in unusual poses, McFarlane recaptured and updated the essence of the look that co-creator Steve Ditko had given the wall-crawler hero in the early years. Except for issue 15, McFarlane wrote and drew the first 16 issues of the new series. Which classic Spider-Man villain appeared in Spider-Man #1, 1990? Is it the Lizard, the Villain, the Green Goblin, or Dr. Octopus? I'll give you the name of the storyline.
Okay.
Torment.
The
1990.
Lizard.
Ding ding motherfucking ding. It is indeed the Lizard. The artist clue there being McFarlane, because he fucking loved drawing the Lizard.
Yeah,
He loved drawing stuff with teeth and saliva.
Yeah.
What I love about this is the subtitle for this book is The Legend of the Arachnid. That never caught on, and I'm so glad it never did. What a fucking terrible title.
That's bad.
Who is Silvermane's son? The Kingpin, the Rose, Hammerhead, or Blackwing?
Fucking hell. That's a deep pull. Deep ass pull, more like. I'm gonna go with Hammerhead.
It's Blackwing.
I was right. I second guessed myself.
Who is Michael Morbius? A supernatural vampire, a scientist with vampire-like superhuman attributes, an expert in black magic, or a secret agent from Europe?
He's a scientist with vampire-like attributes.
Fuck yeah, he is.
And he's also Jared Leto.
Which of Spider-Man's nemeses was converted into a cyborg? Silvermane, the Vulture, Kane, or Meteor Man?
No, Silvermane.
Fucking Silvermane.
Yeah.
Most recently appearing as a head on top of a robot remote-control car in the Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who owned the Daily Bugle as of 2009?
Oh.
Is it J. Jonah Jameson, Rupert Dockery, Dexter Bennett, or K.J. Clayton?
Dexter Bennett?
It is Dexter Bennett, because he changes the name too. Can you remember what he changes the name of the paper to?
No.
The DB! Exclamation point.
Oh, yeah. I heard that. Yeah, that's
fucking gross. And it's so wonderful when Jameson gets it back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't want him to get it back, but Dexter Bennett is a slime ball and an arsehole. And is not that subtly modelled off of people like Donald Trump. And he wears a stupid little bow tie.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Bow ties are cool, except when they're worn by Dexter Bennett.
Yeah, well, bow ties are cool depending on who's wearing them, yeah.
How was the Wraith related to Jean de Wolf, or Jean de Wolf? Is it her brother, her father, her son, or her killer?
Her killer.
It was a brother. And what's really annoying is...
I'm getting my death of
it
Jean
says
de Wolf
his
mixed up.
killer. Which is incorrect, because
Jean de Wolf
is a woman. So, well done, book writers. You fucking let that one slip through the net.
Fucking hell.
Which vigilante or vigilantes debuted in Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 64? Was it The Punisher, Cloak and Dagger, Solo, or Silver Sable?
Cloak and Dagger.
It was Cloak and Dagger. I fucking love Cloak and Dagger. Which of Peter's classmates was portrayed in the 1960s as serving in the Vietnam War? Was it Jason Ionello,
Tash Flonson.
Harry Osborn, Randy Robertson, or Flash Thompson?
It was Flash.
It was Flash. Ha! Which, of course, as time goes by, they very slyly update it to the most recent conflicts. But now he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Cool.
Well,
not for him, but yeah.
not for him. Who was Harry Osborn's wife? Was it Betty Brant, Liz Allen, Joy Mercado, or Mary Jane Watson?
Liz Allen.
It was indeed Liz Allen. And finally, who killed Nathan Lubensky? Was it Carnage?
Who?
It was one of Aunt May's exes.
Oh,
the
right.
guy in the wheelchair who was
Oh,
secretly
right,
using
okay.
the money to gamble.
Cool.
Is it Carnage, Kane, the Jackal, or the Vulture?
Jackal.
It was the Vulture.
Oh.
But I'll nearly give it to you because you basically had to pick which one of these villains are also old men.
Yeah.
Because he was an old man.
I feel like that happened around the time of the Clone Saga.
Hit me with a page, babes. Your eyes.
Say when.
Now!
X-Men!
Fuck!
X-Men! Fuck! 1231. How does the Juggernaut resist psychic attacks? A. He cannot. B. The spell of Sitarak. C. His force field. Or D. His helmet.
It's fucking helmet,
It's
son.
his helmet.
It's his helmet. My helmet.
1252. 1232, I should say. Not 52, we're not that far in. What happened in the X-Men story arc Inferno?
Okay.
Inferno.
Yes.
A. The X-Men rescued Nightcrawler from a recreation of Hell. B. Magic and her allies fought Belasco in Limbo. C. Demons invaded Manhattan. Or D. The X-Men invaded the dimension of the Ingari.
Demons invaded Manhattan.
That is
Because
very true.
I read the
That is very true.
McFarlane era Spider-Man portion of that because
Yeah.
it spread into all the New York books.
That happened.
And it was really creepy. Like the designs of the demons are really freaky. It was like H.R. Geiger had sneezed.
Are you ready for another long question?
Yes.
I'm going to take a deep breath. By the 1970s, Marvel Comics was producing comics for the United Kingdom, reprinting stories originally published in America. Marvel decided to create new material specifically for the British market. Thus, Captain Britain Weekly debuted with a cover date of October 13th, 1976. In his origin story, Brian Paddock is a physics student working at the Dartmoor Nuclear Research Centre when he's attacked by a villain called the Reaver. Escaping on a motorcycle, Braddock suffers a near-fatal crash. The figures of Merlin the Magician and Roma appear to him and ask him to choose between the Mystic Amulet of Right and the Sword of Might. Braddock chooses the amulet and is transformed into the superhuman Captain Britain, shown above. Captain Britain later co-starred in the X-Men spin-off series, Excalibur! He was a British counterpart of Captain America, the superheroic champion of the United Kingdom. Who created Captain Britain for Marvel UK?
Fuck.
Was it A. Chris Claremont and Alan Davis? B. Chris Claremont and Herb Trimpe? C. Stan Lee and John Buscema? Or D. Roy Thomas and Barry Windsor Smith?
I feel like Claremont had a hand in it because this was at the peak of his X-Men sort of stewardship, wasn't it? In terms of him helping branch it out a little bit
Just
more.
after he took over.
It's A.
It is A. Chris Claremont and Alan Davis.
Thanks, Alan. Mine's Big A.
Alan! 1234.
Dan! Dan! Dan!
Which British-born writer wrote Captain Britain for Marvel UK in the early 1980s? Was it A. Alan Moore, B. Grant Morrison, C. Neil Gaiman, or D. Chris Claremont?
Is Chris Claremont British born?
Yes,
He
he is. All of those writers are British born.
I want to say Alan Moore dipped a toe.
You want to say Alan Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be right.
Hey!
I never wrote Captain Britain's story that I didn't think was utter bullshit. But I never wrote anything that I didn't think was utter bullshit because I'm a miserable old bastard.
Companies take your ideas and they suck the marrow from their bones. You ever seen his Simpsons appearance? It's fucking wonderful.
It is good.
It's sort of like, it shows that he is kind of self-aware of his own miserableness.
Oh, yeah.
Like he sort of knows he is and then goes for it in that episode.
You're a bad man. You're a bad car. What mutant power does Emma Frost have besides telepathy? Is it telekinesis? B, hyper smell sense? C, astral projection? Or D, able to make her body diamond hard?
D, diamond hard?
Yes, diamond hard. What is unusual about Chambers' appearance? A, the left side of his body is scared.
Huh?
Like that, don't you? B, the right side of his head is missing. C, the lower half of his face and part of his chest are missing. Or D, half his body is orgasmic metal.
It's C.
It is C. Yeah. The lower half of his face and part of his chest are missing. Which artist co-created Gambit with writer Chris Claremont? Was it A, Jim Lee, B, Mark Sylvester McCoy, C, Paul Smith, or D, John Romita Jr.?
Is it Paul Smith?
That's a good question, I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
Who was it?
It was Jim Lee.
I would have sworn that Gambit was just slightly pre-Jim Lee.
No, it was in the Jim Lee era when the team were in Australia.
Yeah.
And then Storm had been separated from him.
Mm-hmm.
Then she meets up with Gambit, so that's when Gambit's introduced.
See, for some reason I just imagined he was around before that.
I think it's when Storm gets aged down into a teenager by Nanny.
Yeah.
Fucking weird, man.
What's weird is how quickly his popularity escalated then.
Yes.
Because he'd only been around like a year before he was in a cartoon and bloody hell.
What is Gambit's mutant power? A, he has the ability to alter probability. B, charges objects with kinetic energy. C, projects explosive force, like that. Or D...
God, I hope the mic picked that up so my suffering isn't in vain.
Or D, has psionic powers.
Oh my god. For those listening along on very quiet headphones, Matt just excreted
I just projected explosive force.
gaseous fecal matter into the atmosphere. Oh my god.
Answer the question.
And then turned into a 1940s character actor from Hollywood based on that laugh.
Answer the question.
He's starring in a new motion picture alongside Ed Wynn.
Answer the question.
He charges at objects with kinetic energy.
He does. Look at the answers.
And then he throws them.
Fucking know
and
that.
then he throws them. They're trying to catch you off guard with the next one being he throws blowy up stuff, but he doesn't. He turns stuff blowy uppy and then he throws it.
Chris, who is Akiko? A female Japanese ninja, Sunpire, Daken's mother, or a Japanese orphan under Wolverine's protection?
I actually don't know this one. Is it Daken's mother?
No, it's a Japanese orphan under Wolverine's protection. Fucking hell. Oh, this is fun.
We're going to wrap up soon.
In which city suburb did the Molecule Man settle down with his girlfriend after the first secret war? Was it A, Boston, B, Chicago, C, Denver, or D, New York?
Chicago?
No, it was Denver!
Oh.
Fucking Turkey.
Shit.
What the fuck have you got?
What did I put in your coffee?
I don't know. That's my 5th cup of coffee today.
Oh my god. You're in work tomorrow, right? You're going to be in zombie mode.
How did Miguel O'Hara acquire his superpowers as Spider-Man 2099? Was he bitten by an irradiated spider? Was he bitten by a genetically modified spider? Was it through genetic restructuring of his body or through injecting himself with spider DNA?
Genetic restructuring of his body?
It was a genetic restructuring of his body, not through dunno DNA.
Spider DNA.
Take the book from me before I just go down a hole of inane trivia.
Do you know what? You're a little too excited. Eat the last minty finger.
No, I've had way more than you.
Eat the last minty finger.
No, I've had way more than you. You eat the last minty finger.
Okay, but if I eat the last minty finger, I'll do it close to the mic and you've got to tell everyone what to do.
Alright, so, everybody, you can look out for the next show and all our announcements at Big Damn Cast on Twitter. You can come watch me do some streamy shit on twitch.tv/Big Damn Stream. And if you've got some money to spare, you can, of course, throw it towards us on Patreon at patreon.com/Big Damn Cast. We'll see you, well, you'll hear us, I should say, back here next week. And until then, enjoy your minty fingers. Got it.